Hi, welcome. I'm on a little lunch break, so might have to keep this brief, but thank you for being here. And I thought what I was feeling called for today when I sat down here to do a reading was I pulled out a few different decks and just thought, let's just see. It's always just let's just see. But I felt like let's start with some words and then get into the tarot. So something about career and spontaneity. Interesting. Is there another one? Well, it does say shedding. Career, spontaneity, shedding. Can you see that? Maybe. And then I thought, let's get, this is the Mystic Forest Oracle. They're kind of brief little messages here to get us started. Remember who you are. You carry stardust in your bones, your ancestors' wisdom in your blood, and the whole universe in your soul. Know yourself, and nothing will bring you down. True story. And then we'll save this for the end. This is from the Moonology Messages Oracle. There's one in. Hold on. Okay. Okay, we'll save that right there. Alrighty. So, what I feel like I'm in this phase of everything being true and non-orientation, if that means anything to you. Hold on, let me see if there are more words. Like there's literally truth in everything, even down to like classical physics and quantum physics. It's not an either or, it's a both and. And wherever I look now, I see the both and. And it's been a while, but it seems like vacillating. And now it's just ever present. And I think that's what makes it used to make it challenging to relate to people who have hang-ups in the relative, and it's kind of gone past that, and now there's no challenge at all. It's more like a fun game. Does that make sense? I know this is hard to talk about, but if you know, you know. And if you don't know, at least it can be entertaining, right? So when I do these readings, it's tapping into something that's always there. And it's not physical, it's not spiritual, it's not energetical, it's not one thing, it's all things. And it's always ever present. I think where I'm at now is not giving things a label, because that's just what the brain likes to do. We like to make sense of things. Oh, it's got to look a certain way, or it's got to sound a certain way, it's got to have a certain label. And it's like, no, it's just all one thing. This is all one thing. I think that's what makes it hard to talk about, because our words are designed to divide things up so that we can describe something so that that one thing makes sense to the other brains we're talking to. And so when you just start realizing like, oh, everything's just one thing, words kind of fail sometimes. So just like to tell you where I'm at. And I like it here a lot. So with that, we'll just see what messages are coming through from wherever they're coming. We have the Tower right here. That is a big change. It's like, I'm glad we pulled that shedding word. And it's like, when things change so drastically, we have to remember who we are. And it's crossed by the Three of Pentacles. So there might be a situation for some of you where a partnership's coming to an end. And it doesn't have to, it's not necessarily a romantic relationship. It's just some collaboration, some partnership might be changing in some way. It might not even be coming to an end. It's just changing in a way that might feel a little disruptive. And I wonder, because this is generally the card of career or work, like teamwork. I wonder if for some of you, there's something in the career that's like really changing drastically. Or suddenly and not drastic and not sudden. Who knows? But it's changing in some way that feels a little disorienting or disruptive. And there's something maybe calling you to shed that idea. Well, man, I have a lot of chills right now. I don't know who's watching or who will be watching this, but I wonder if it has to do with everything going on in our society right now here in the US, with so many things getting slashed, cut budget-wise, and a lot of careers being upended suddenly. And so I think through this, it's saying, like, remember who you are, and you can be spontaneous and shed that old idea that you have to have the stability, has to look a certain way. Because I think that's what this reading's trying to tell us. But let's find out. I want to know a little bit more. Tell me more about this Tower. Tell me more, tell me more. We have the Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands, and the Five of Cups. Wow. So it does seem like it's not like you're going to have a hard time with this. It doesn't feel like, it feels like a temporary setback of like focusing a little bit on the loss, but you're going to move through that pretty quickly. Especially if you have the ability to go, like, really tap into, well, here it is. Really remember who you are. Tap into that inner knowing. That, and maybe that's why I wanted to talk about ever-presence. The part of you that's never changing. The part of you that's always there. Through any career, through any change. Because that's the one that's being called for in this Six of Wands. Like, being seen for who you really are. But first you have to see yourself for who you really are through the Seven of Wands. And drown out all the noise right now. Go way deep inside, however deep you need, whatever time you need to take. Because there's a temporary setback, kind of a feeling that you're going to work through to emerge as this butterfly and just be seen for who you really are. So what's happening now is actually a blessing, if you like to use that word, meaning an unexpected revelation of like, well, I could have kept going in this career forever and been pretty satisfied. It would have given me that sense of stability. But this is saying that was just too comfortable. That's not where you're meant to be. You can have a different kind of stability, which means, I mean, we'll see where we're going with this, but it feels like getting rid of the illusion to make way for your authenticity and being able to flow within any situation. Shed, it's like, it's so funny, we got this imagery of the butterfly and the word shedding, because it's like this image of like we're shedding the caterpillar and the cocoon, and now we're emerging. So it's shedding the old idea of ourselves. I kind of want to keep this right here to remember, like, that's what we're talking about. Okay. So, where do you want to go from here? Let's dig a little deeper. You know, the High Priestess. 3 of Pentacles again. So yeah, that's definitely what this is about. Now we're going to take it down a layer deeper. So right here in this collaboration, like this, and what it almost feels like you already know that you have so much more potential. That's the word I was struggling to find. So much more potential that they weren't seeing anyway. They meaning whoever you were in partnership or teamwork with at your old career, or the one that's ending, or the one that will soon be ending. We'll see. It's almost like you know they didn't see you for who you really are, or your fullest potential, and you weren't achieving your fullest potential, and you already felt that. Like I almost don't need to do this reading for you. It's like you already know all of this. But something's telling you that you need to dig deep inside. You need to take some time right now to tap into, get a feel for who you are, who is the ever-present me that's always here, your most intuitive self, meaning look back on all the phases of your life and be like, okay, that was me, that was me, that was me, okay, that wasn't me, that was me. And realize like this person just had a way of navigating anything to arrive right here. And what is the essence of that person? What is your essence? I mean, it goes even deeper than that, because you're just looking back on your physical reality, but go way deeper than that. Tap into, like, if you want to get weird, tap into lifetime stuff. Like, who have I been throughout many lifetimes? Isn't that cool? Because you've got the High Priestess here. So this is a big, like, tap into, like, all of the, what wisdom traditions do you, and when I say that, it means anything. It could be any philosophical concepts or philosophers you've always been fascinated with, religions, but not doctrines, just like the underlying teachings. Like what what are all of those wisdom traditions? I don't know how else to say it. Even if it's scientific, everything's all the same stuff anyway. But what fascinates you? Tap into that and be like, what? Like, it's like truth digging. It's like by sifting through that, you kind of get an idea of like what you resonate with, what lights you up. And you can learn more about yourself through looking at down those paths, because sometimes it's too esoteric or too ephemeral, whatever word you want to call it that starts with an E. Like, what does it mean to look inside? It's like, sometimes it's hard to, like, what does that mean? Sometimes by looking outside, we're looking inside, right? To see like what lights us up. Oh, I felt alive just then. I felt like interested, felt fascinated. And that's how we learn more about ourselves, right? So do whatever you need to do. But sometimes this High Priestess means like, what wisdom traditions or faith traditions do you really resonate with the teachings of? And then you can learn more about your path by reflecting on those things. So whatever you need to do, it says now's the time to do it. And this is a time where you're being called to do this because you're on the verge of stepping out. You're like on the threshold of this change. And it's not just the physical change. If this really is about an old career or an old line of work or something that you really put all of your efforts into, this is something is changing. So it's like, oh, I don't just want to run off and keep doing the same thing just to have it look different. I'm going to be different. That's what this is about. Sorry, getting all the chills. I need to take some warm coffee. I know I'm having an afternoon coffee. Shh. Okay. So, tell me more. Tell us more. Got the Five of Cups again. Very few cards have been pulled, and we've got a couple big repeats. Okay. And the Eight of Pentacles. There's some inner work that's being called for right now. Inner work. It's almost like you got the Seven of Wands before, which is like tune out the noise, tune out the distractions. You're going in. Then the High Priestess came in. You're going deep. And in order to move past this temporary setback, this like feeling of, like the rug's been pulled out from under you, you've got to put your blinders on, heads down, do the work. And what does that mean? What does it mean? It's going to be different for each of us. I mean, it's probably shadow work. We got the High Priestess there. She's this balancing of light and dark, and like tapping into both. And what are you learning from the light and the dark? Well, shadow work comes to mind. What are your shadows? What are those things you've been ignoring, or because it was easy to be heads down with the career, now it says be heads down with the shadow work. But tell me more. Ace of Swords. Through this work, you're going to get some downloads, some spiritual, inspirational, whatever, universal, mystical downloads. What that means is your High Priestess is coming right through here. And it's all the same stuff. It's your own inner wisdom. It's your own inner voice talking to you. And now you can actually hear it. That's what's coming in. But what's coming in? It's a remembering who you are. It's no wonder we pulled that right from the beginning. It's remembering who you are. What's coming to me is like this idea of, you've got the Three of Pentacles twice, which is this teamwork, collaboration. It's almost like it's easier for you to be in a group because other people can tell you who you are. It's easier to know who you are in relation to other people, right? That's what we do for each other. It's like, I like being with them because of this. I don't like being with them because of that. And all of that is information. Good, bad, whatever. It's all information that says, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That's what you're being called to find out without being in relation to other people. Now it's time to be in relation with yourself. Okay. We might have to pause there and go into the extended. I will flip this over. It says, Moonstruck, take a breath. Ooh, so we'll read that meaning in the extended. So, but I think you got enough to get started. If you don't want to go to the extended, you don't have to. I'd appreciate it if you do, though. We'll start reading this, and then we'll go even deeper about what are the next steps. But I think you've got enough to start with, which is there's some ever-present part of you who's not going to be shaken up by this. This is saying, this is like, tap into that part of you. Create space, create time, create willingness to tune out all the noise. And that's hard. It's like all that stuff out there that's causing the shakeup, whatever it is. It's, first of all, it's using a phrase again that I used earlier this week or even yesterday. I don't know, time's weird. Like, it's all by design. Everything's by design. Right? So whether we designed it for ourselves or somebody else designed it, whatever, now's the time. This change is happening. Are you going to latch onto it and make it hard, like through attachment? Or are you going to let go and trust? And that's what the Tower calls us into. We have the choice always. But this is letting go of this in order to trust our own ability to land. Okay, so thanks for being here, and follow the link over or reach out if you want to do a one-on-one reading. Thank you. Bye.